Today we are going to talk about branding. No, not that type of branding. Branding your business. Making it so people can find you. This is coming off of episode 98, I'm Stuck, Now What Do I Do? Where Bob was having a real difficult time attracting new business. And it comes down to the fact that nobody can find Bob. He has a Facebook page, but that's it. That means that you're missing, I'm going to make this number up, 90% of the world. Even though Facebook is absolutely huge, it's not huge in the business world. Hi, my name's Roger Kugler. This is Working at Woodworking Podcast, episode number 99. Branding your woodworking business. I'm here to help you, the skilled woodworker, start your own business. You've been thinking about this. You've been dreaming about maybe that new SawStop table saw, perhaps a new air compressor system. Ooh, maybe you've fallen into the Festool tar pit. Yeah, you can make some money doing this. You have the skills. You just need a little nudge to get you to hang out the shingle and start attracting some customers. In fact, you may not even have a shingle hung out and you're already attracting customers because maybe your spouse, partner, mother, somebody knows somebody who needs something fixed. Oh, my insert relationship does woodworking. I bet they could do that. Boom, you're making money. But let's make it a little easier for the average person out there to find you. Now, I'm assuming you have your business basics done. You have your company name, you know your address, you've got a bank account set up, you have a logo, you have written a description of your business, one paragraph, who you are, what you do. You've established hours that you're going to work. Maybe it's a full-time gig, Monday through Friday, Saturday, maybe into Sunday. Or you're just doing this part-time. Wednesdays between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. It's the only day you're open. Okay, that's fine. Cool. You tell people when you're available, and most of them will accommodate. You've decided what products you're going to offer. Maybe you're going to make children's doll furniture. Maybe you're going to make viola da gamas. Maybe you're going to make dog houses. Cool. Perhaps you're just going to offer a service. Furniture repair. Furniture refinishing. Oh, are you going to be busy? So you have all this stuff done. You just need to kind of put it all together and get it out to the world. And I don't think there's any way better than utilizing the World Wide Web. Yes, the internet. I'm sure you've heard of it. But how do you go about doing this? I'm going to break this down into, four simple steps. Actually, technically 3 simple steps and a bonus. Seriously, if this has been scaring you, you're just overwhelmed with the idea of building a website. I have to do this, I have to do that. Your head's swimming, you don't know how to do it. And as a result, you haven't done anything. So here you go. 3 simple steps. 1, 2, 3. Step number 1. You need to point your fingers on your keyboard on your computer and type in Google Workspace. Boom. That's it. Easy. We're done. No, seriously. Google Workspace. And you will find a multitude of interlinked links that just open up a world of marketing and branding opportunities. And yes, you are going to have to pay for this. But for what you get, this is stupid cheap. So you go to Google Workspace. It opens up. It'll say, start building your workspace or something to that effect. and you need to sign up for a particular plan. They have a number of different plans. The business starter is $6 a month. The business standard is $12 a month. Honestly, I would pick the starter. Here is what you get with your Google Workspace. You get email. Not just any old email address. You get business email. What is that? That is Roger at workingatwoodworking.com or Joe at joesfurniturerepair.com or sales at terrawooddesign.com. You seeing a theme here? It's not sam4897 at gmail.com or mongowoodworking at aol.com. Is that even still a thing? Or the woodgal at frontierNW.net. No, none of those lame rookie league email addresses. You want to put forth a professional profile. You want to let people know that you're actually serious about running a business. Even if you are a one-man shop working out of your basement, there's no reason to be sloppy about this. Oh yeah, I hear it. Yeah, I'm doing $3 million a year and I have a Comcast email account. Well, goody for you. I bet you're also spending $3.5 million on expenses. So you're on Google Workspace, you click Start a Trial, and they give you so much, time, introductory offer type thing. You will need to type in your business name. You have already done that. If you haven't done this yet, you need to pause and get this done. See episode, I think it's number 3, your business name. Then you need to enter your domain. That is your internet address, your domain name, your website name. Oh, you don't have that yet? I wouldn't expect you to have it yet, but there's a little button there that says Buy a Domain. Click it. When you click it, another box will open up and it will say Search for Domain. And it could be Joe's Furniture Repair. And you type that in and it pops up and it says available. $12 a year. That's nothing. Click Buy Now. You have your domain. This is so super important. Now, I used to be a big advocate of Google domains after going through, half a dozen other registrars over the decades I've been playing around with this. And, of course, once you get used to something, it changes. So Google Domain actually sold out, transferred, gave away, I'm not sure, all of their domain registrations to Squarespace. Flawless transfer. No problems whatsoever. I am fully trusting of Squarespace. I've been a fan of them for years. You complete the registration and boom! You have your email. A good email. One that people can remember. So why am I so hot about this? Why use Google Workspace to get this email? Number one, I'm incredibly amazed at how simple they have made this. I'm not going to even try to regale you on the other ways of doing this. Let's just say it's not simple, nor is it cheap. But I think the big thing for having you use Google Workspace is you're not conflating your personal email with your business email. There is absolutely no chance that those creepy photos of your Uncle Charlie in Speedos is going to make it into the public domain, if you know what I mean here. Yeah. And you have that professional email address. It's name@yourcompany.com. Do you know one of the easiest ways to determine if a solicitation is spam that you get through email? we are XYZ company. We specialize in ABC, and we can increase your profits by 400 trillion%. Just click here. And you look at the email sender, and it is sarahb723@gmail.com. Click, spam, block, bye-bye. No, a legitimate business is not going to use a Gmail account. They're just not. You should not. So this is the quickest, easiest way to set up a professional business email account. And you have your own domain. Your new email account comes with your own domain. Trust me, it just doesn't get any easier than this, nor cheaper than this. I mean, for the starter plan, we're talking $6 a month, $72 a year. That's one Starbucks per month. You can afford this. Okay, I'm going to throw in, I didn't really count this because it may not apply to everyone, so I'm going to call this step 1A, Google Voice. Yeah, I said that. Google Voice, or rather your phone, your business phone system. $10 a month, voice over internet protocol. If you listen to episode 19, we talked about your business phone, how you might not want to use your personal phone for your business. It can get awkward. And instead of having to sign up for getting a new phone and carrying that around, or setting up some type of a dual phone number system through your carrier, which can get confusing, complicated, and expensive, this might be an option for you. $10 a month. Did I already mention that? Check it out. Just literally Google Voice, and you'll get all the information. It's part of the Google Workspace empire, shall we say? Step number 2, Google Business Profile. This used to be called Google My Business, and if you've listened to any of my episodes, you know that I'm a really big fan of Google My Business. If you do nothing else, zip, zero, nada, do Google Business Profile. You will be listing your business name, your address, your phone number, your email, your website if you have one, your social media accounts if you have them yet, Facebook, Instagram, etc. The hours that you are available, directions to find you, reviews, photos of your work. This is like a mini website that you can set up for absolute $0 and for no more effort than typing in a text box. Super, super simple and very, very effective. I'm going to guess that I probably get at least 50%, maybe 60% of my customer contacts through Google My Business or Google Business Profile now. It's incredibly effective. Most people use their phones whenever they're searching for something. They're not sitting down at a desktop, the way we used to back in the dark ages. And they're using their phone. And one of the very first things that shows up, wonder why this happens, is your Google Business Profile, even before your website in a lot of cases. And a customer can read what you have posted there. There's a phone number. They click on the phone number and boom, they're talking to you. This is a brave new world out there. It's not hard to use. I think the reviews on there are important. You don't have to go absolutely crazy, but if you get, a half a dozen positive reviews on there, you will be golden. And something you should be doing just as a matter of course, when someone does contact you, tactfully ask them how they found out about you. That's the best marketing research you can get. I mean, oh yeah, sure, you could pay some big, Washington, D.C. marketing firm to do, research for you and pay them $25,000 whenever you just ask people, hey, how'd you find out about me? Boom. Same thing. A lot cheaper. Now, I've never asked anyone to do a Google review for me. Young people typically will just kind of like voluntarily just do it for you. And I always appreciate whenever they do that. Okay, step number 3. Okay, I know, this is the one you've all been kind of dreading. Build your website. Just frickin' do it. You've been putting it off way too long. I know, you're scared. You don't need to be. This can be incredibly simple. Remember back to step 1? You already have your domain. That's the www.yourbusinessname.com. You already have that. You took care of that in step 1. It cost you $12 a year. No biggie. Now, you have 2 routes you can go here. You can use one of the big platforms, Wix, Square, Squarespace, Shopify, and build out your webpage. These are really nice in that you also get e-commerce. And I'm assuming that maybe if you're getting into woodworking, you want to sell some woodworking, unless you're pure service-based, which if you are, you can still use these platforms. Using these platforms is relatively painless. You're going to have all your ducks in a row. One of the big things you're going to need is photos. And if you run back to episode number, I think it's episode 10, Marketing Your Woodworking Business, I talk about how to get photos. Either A, if you're really smart, hire a professional to come in and do some photos, or take your products to them. It's cheaper. Or B, do them yourself. And we talk a bit about that in that episode. But you're going to need some good photos. And of course, you're going to have your pricing information and your descriptions written out and all that other stuff. And it's not something that once you click start that you have to complete that particular day. You can, start something, finish a little section of it, and then the next day come back and work on it a little more. It's actually a pretty forgiving process. Cost, on average, you're going to be paying around $30 a month. Usually that's paid either annually or semi-annually. They will list, like $29 a month with a little asterisk that says this is based on an annual payment of. And if you do select to pay monthly, which some of the platforms offer, it's going to be a little bit more. Route number 2 is to use, wait for it, Google Sites. Yes, I know, we're back to Google already. We actually haven't even left Google yet, but Google Sites, and literally Google Sites, and it will take you right to it. I'm almost lost for words here because it doesn't get any easier than this. You literally drag and drop and type, and you can move things around. It is so incredibly simple to start building a website. It's literally easy peasy lemon squeezy. I can't overemphasize this. You do not need to know code. You do not need to know graphic design. You do not need to know image manipulation. It does this for you. Now, is it going to be a terribly sophisticated site? No. But really, neither are the platform sites. They're not terribly sophisticated. Oh, what about WordPress? I would really rather you not. I'm not a fan of WordPress. There's 2 different types of WordPress. There's WordPress.com and there's WordPress.org, I believe. And one of them is just a platform. The .com, it's a platform and you can go on and you build it. And they charge you for it, and it's not very good. You can build websites using WordPress A lot of professionals do that because it's stupid simple and easy for professionals who don't know how to code. Ooh, geez, gosh, I don't know if I should have even said that. I'm just not impressed with WordPress. Number one, they have all kinds of security holes. They always have. Maybe it's just me. I'm not a fan. If you want to do that, go ahead and explore it. You do you. But back to Google Sites. Super, super easy. You already have your domain. You just need to connect your Google Sites to your domain and boom! There you are. You are online. You have a website. Now, the one thing you don't have is e-commerce. You're not going to sell anything on this website. Now, thinking about it, you might be able to plug in PayPal buttons, but I'm not really thinking you can. So let's just say you are not going to sell anything on a Google Sites website. For that, you'll need to move up to one of the other platforms. Cost for Google Sites, zero. Nada. No. Nothing. So, for what you're paying for, you're getting a pretty good deal here. Now, would I expect you to have a Google Sites 10 years from now? Maybe not. Maybe by then you'd get a little more sophisticated, a little more money, a little more punch, a little more optimization, then maybe move into one of the other sites. And I probably should have a route number 3 on here, which is hire someone to build your website. But, come on, let's face it. If you're listening to this podcast, you're too cheap to do that. Now, if you do kind of get bit by this website building bug, I'm sure that you're aware of a term, search engine optimization, or SEO for short. This is how the internet finds you. This gets into the algorithms of how pages are rendered on a search engine, Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo, how that is presented. In other words, are you going to show up on page 137 or on page 1 of the search engine results? And this gets, this is an entire industry. There's a lot of people who make a living, many of them very good living, on optimizing search engine results. If you want to jump into this rabbit hole, I would suggest tuning into a podcast called SEO 101 podcast. And it's produced by Step Forth Web Marketing out of Canada, I believe, Vancouver. I've listened to them for years and years and years, and they started a series last fall with episode 454, Chapter 1, SEO Fundamentals. If you know nothing about SEO, or even if you know a little about SEO, I would encourage you to tune in and go through their short little crash course on SEO. Very, very informative and very current. SEO changes like daily, maybe even hourly. And it's really hard for non-professionals to kind of keep up with what's going on. And these guys do a really, really good job. So link down in the show note. I'd encourage you to check that out. Okay, this is step number 4. Maybe we could just add this as an addendum, because you don't technically need this as far as branding. This is just kind of a business thing that I came to the realization not all of you may be doing this. If you have customers coming into your shop to pick up their furniture repair, to pick up their charcuterie board, you want them to pay you. If you are older than, 35, you may expect to be paid with either cash or a check. if your customers are under the age of 35, they may not know what a check is. Or if they do, they may not have any. It is a different world out there. And especially with younger folks, they just don't do the things we used to do when we were their age. I really encourage you to have some type of modern payment method available to them. And there are several different flavors out there. I have been using Zettle, which is a PayPal product. It's literally an app on your phone connected to your PayPal account. And just like everything else, it's pretty darn simple now. I used to have the little card reader that you had to put the card in and it would read the chip. And, well, shoot, even before that, I had the little swipey thing that would read the mag strip. Those are long gone. This is the modern era. And with the Zettle app and a modern phone, it is super easy. Most of the transactions I've been doing over the last, year or so have been the tap transaction, where there's the near field chip, the NFC chip embedded into the card, and you hold it on mine, it's the back of the phone, and the card and the phone communicate with each other through the app, and super simple. I've been so impressed with this. Failure rate is, knock on wood, basically zero. I've not had a failure with it, other than my own problem of not turning on location or the NFC portion of my phone. But other than that, this has been working marvelously. And that is just a huge benefit to especially your younger customers. They're not used to handling cash or writing checks. So the easier you can make a transaction, the more transactions you may actually get. Okay, so to summarize all this, and I don't want to come off sounding like the poster child for Google, but man, there are some huge advantages of using the Google Workshop and then the Google Business Profile. These things I can't overemphasize how easy, how inexpensive, and most importantly, how effective these are as far as your customers, your potential customers finding you. You don't have to worry about big marketing campaigns. You don't even have to write a business marketing plan. You just need to do these 3, maybe 4 steps, and you can be up and running. I know, Skynet, they're coming for us, but until the robots show up, I'm going to enjoy this, and I hope you do too. Some etc. items that I would like to talk about. Are you struggling with a Wi-Fi signal in your workshop? Maybe it's really good in the morning, but in the afternoon it kind of starts fading out, and you're having trouble enjoying your favorite show tunes like Camelot or Paint Your Wagon. Well, if you're having these troubles like I've been having, I've got a solution for you. It's called the TP-Link Deco Whole Home Mesh Wi-Fi System. Got that? Okay. Depending on where your workshop is and where your Wi-Fi router is, you may not have a real good signal. And you've been frustrated with this, but you've not been sure of how to fix this. You've seen ads for these little repeater things, but do they really work? No. I've heard of mesh systems, and I've also heard that they were incredibly expensive. And I had a customer that I was kind of complaining about this. He had mentioned that he was retired from the communication industry. And I, of course, had to know more. And he worked with internet. And I told him about my problem, and he said, you need to check into a mesh system, a TP-Link. mesh system. And to be honest with you, I didn't know what those words meant at the time. And it was probably a couple months later that the frustration just finally got the best of me. That at least I will look this up to see what I can't afford. And I looked this up and found these things on Amazon, and they weren't very expensive. Oh my gosh. Could this be true? Could there be an inexpensive solution to this problem? No, surely this is some scam. Well, I did a search on this particular product, and I found several other trusted websites that reviewed the product very highly. CNET in particular. And I looked at it, and I needed 2 units for the size of my house and my shop, and it was like $88. Oh my gosh, could this really work? And I'm here very proudly telling you, yes, it can work. The way this works, which is really kind of brilliant, is that it doesn't rely upon radio waves going through the air, because that's actually why you don't have a good Wi-Fi signal in the first place, because the signal's not going through the air. Instead, a mesh system uses the electrical wiring in your home and your shop. It uses the copper wire that is already there to do a hardwire connection through the magic of electricity. So the signal is actually going into your home wiring, into your fuse panel. Guess what I've been working on lately? Your breaker box, and going throughout all your copper wiring to your receptacles, and you have one unit set up near your router where your signal's coming into your home, and you have another one set up wherever you need it on the other side of the building, as long as it's connected to a receptacle. So boom, super simple. And the speed that I'm getting out of this thing, much faster than out of the original router, which is a few years old. And sitting side by side, yeah, I can be right next to the router, and I'm still getting much better speeds on the mesh system out in my shop. It is fantastic. So I'll try to leave a link in the show notes. Another thing that I came across was wood nails. Yeah, link in the show notes. This is wild. They have made a pneumatic nail gun shoot wood nails. I am not making this up. No pre-drilling. It's just like using a standard nail gun, except it's a piece of wood that you just shot through the 2x4 into framing. And the website says it's not specifically made for construction, for doing, rough carpentry framing, and their illustrations are more on, furniture and cabinet making. Think of a bookcase that instead of, cutting dados and biscuits or dominoes or things like this, you just shoot a wood nail into it, basically pegging together. Interesting. I don't think it's going to catch fire right now. I'm not ordering one, but I just thought it was interesting. We've been using wood nails, which the Vikings would refer to as trunels, for, probably thousands of years. Any type of a wood peg that held 2 pieces of wood together. I mean, it's not new technology, but we've just found a new way of using it. Missed jobs. I passed on an altar. I actually got a text on this, and it basically said something like, "Can you build this?" And it was a photo of an altar. I had no idea what religion. And it had dimensions in there, and I passed on the job because, that's what I'm doing now. But it was really interesting that this came via text. I mean, I can remember the days that if you wanted something, you would have to put together a bid package and send out an FRQ, a request for bid. Very, very formal. And here's this person took a picture of something, probably off of a website, and texted to me and says, "Can you build this?" Wow. Okay. It is a brave new world out there. Boy, am I dumb. I'm working on a canoe that has no outwalls. Those are the pieces of wood that go along the shear line on the outside of the canoe. And I've got to make those. Now, the boat was originally built in 1937, and they used spruce. Spruce in my location is, let's just say, non-native. And to purchase spruce is outrageously expensive. Gosh, I couldn't believe that. I had an opportunity to buy spruce, like 5 years ago, and I was like, nah, I don't know. Yeah, don't really need it right now. Oh, geez, what a fool. So spruce is just way too expensive. So I need another type of wood. Now, Sitka spruce, it's a fantastic wood. It's used in aircraft construction and boats and particularly spars. It's a wonderful wood, but not in the Midwest. I could get some if I drove like 6 hours away and paid a whole bunch of money. Then I'm thinking about Douglas fir. Well, we do use Douglas fir in construction. 4x4s, untreated, are typically Douglas fir. Could I buy one of those, rip out some wood, splice them together, which I'm actually gotten pretty good at, and just use Douglas fir? Well, what's the difference between spruce and Douglas fir? Wood database to the rescue. I've mentioned this on here before. Either the book or the website. And so I just looked up Douglas fir versus Sitka spruce. Sitka spruce is a little lighter. Douglas fir is a little harder. The stiffness is about the same. There's not very much variation there. Wonder if there's any native woods around me that would even come close. Let's look up poplar. Oh, wow. Poplar literally falls between Douglas fir and Sitka spruce with a little more strength and a little more weight than the Sitka spruce. But it is a little harder, the Jinka hardness of Douglas fir. This could work. Now, the only problem with that is poplar can be a kind of not attractive wood, so I got to figure out how I might be able to do that. I might be able to stain it, to kind of get to make it more attractive. But here's the power of using the wood database to try to figure out something. All those numbers are right there at your fingertip on their website, and it can solve problems for you. So recommendations for this episode, there's the Step Forth webmarketing.com, a link in the show notes, and a link to the beckfastening.com. That's the wood nails. Check that out. Very interesting. Special thanks to listeners in Phenix City, Alabama, and Regina, Saskatchewan, and the one listener in Italy. Greatly appreciate that. And just a reminder, our next episode, number 100, will be the last episode before I go on sabbatical. So stay tuned to that. If you'd like to support the show, you can buy me a cup of coffee or make a donation directly on my website, workingatwoodworking.com. All the links in the show notes. If you are kind of stuck in getting your business off the ground and you just want to bounce a couple ideas off of someone, check out the website. You can sign up for a coaching call. Not terribly expensive. I'm sure I'd be able to help you. So until next episode, happy woodworking.